As always, I went to bed very late, read a book before going to sleep, and spent some time on my phone. It was just another ordinary day. I didn't like going to bed late, but it always turned out that way. We lived in a large 2-story house. My parents had been asleep for a while. It was already 1:13, and it was definitely time to go to bed. But I just couldn't fall asleep. Eventually, I managed to doze off, but not for long. I heard a noise downstairs. The floors creaked as if someone was walking on them. I felt uneasy. I decided to go to my parents and tell them what I heard. "You've been watching too many scary movies again," my mom mumbled, half asleep. "No, Mom. I really heard something," I insisted. "You must have imagined it. Go back to bed." I decided to listen to my mom and blamed it all on the cat. I got back into bed and heard it again. I'm not kidding. Really. That's when I got genuinely scared. I didn't want to go downstairs, but I had to. A shiver ran down my spine as I pushed the covers away and slipped out of bed. The floor was cold beneath my feet, amplifying the sense of dread that had settled in my chest. Each step I took was careful and deliberate, the house feeling strangely unfamiliar in the dim light. I quietly went down the stairs and walked into the living room, which led directly to the kitchen. And that's where I saw a shadow. I quickly hid behind the couch in the living room and started watching the kitchen. It was uncomfortable behind the couch, but I tried to stay quiet and observe. The shadow in the kitchen wasn't moving, and I tried to convince myself it was just the cat finding a new place to play. But deep down, I knew it couldn't be the cat. The silhouette was too large, too human-like. Gathering my courage, I crawled out from behind the couch and cautiously approached the kitchen. The closer I got, the clearer it became that it wasn't the cat. The shadow was too big and had a shape that was hard to mistake for something harmless. He was standing with his back to me, seemingly searching through the drawers. I didn't know what to do. My heart was pounding, and fear gripped me. I quickly and quietly went back upstairs to my room. The adrenaline coursing through my veins made it impossible to think clearly. I decided to run to my parents' bedroom. My heart was racing as I quietly crept down the hallway and into their room. "Mom, Dad," I whispered, trying not to panic, but my voice still trembled. "There's someone downstairs." Mom woke up first, and seeing my frightened expression, immediately knew something was wrong. She gently nudged Dad to wake him. Dad sat up, instantly serious despite being groggy. "What happened?" he asked, sitting up in bed. "I saw someone downstairs in the kitchen. It's not the cat, it's someone else," I said, trying to speak clearly and not cry. Dad got out of bed, grabbed the shotgun from the safe, and headed to the door, motioning for us to stay put. Mom hugged me, trying to calm me down. We listened as Dad cautiously descended the stairs. In the quiet of the night, each step he took sounded loud and alarming. Several minutes passed, feeling like an eternity. Finally, we heard Dad's voice. "It's clear. There's no one here. But the front door is ajar. I'll check outside. Stay in the room." Not knowing what else to do, I walked to the window and looked out. Our street was empty, not a single person or car. The darkness seemed even thicker and more menacing. I felt the fear gripping me again. Suddenly, Mom and I heard the creaking of footsteps on the stairs. Someone was coming up. I crouched by the door, listening. The steps were slow and heavy. The creaking grew louder, approaching the room where Mom and I were. I froze, trying not to breathe. The steps stopped right at the door. I could hear someone breathing heavily behind it. It felt like the person was standing there, listening, trying to determine if anyone was in the room. Time dragged on painfully slowly, each moment feeling like an eternity. Mom hugged me tightly, her hand resting on my head, trying to calm me down. I could hear her trying to breathe quietly, but fear was evident in her breath. We both stayed motionless, not daring to move. The door slowly began to open. At first, I saw a shadow, then the outline of a man. In the dim nightlight, we could make out that he was tall, dressed in dark clothes, with a hood hiding his face. Mom pushed me back, trying to shield me with her body. At that moment, the man stepped into the room, and I noticed something shiny in his hand, a knife. Fear pierced me, rendering me unable to scream or move. Mom, on the other hand, kept her composure and tried to talk to the stranger. "Who are you? What do you want?" she asked, trying to sound firm, though her voice betrayed her fear. The man didn't respond, only slowly advancing toward us. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and the man turned around sharply. It was Father. He approached the stranger silently from behind, shotgun at the ready. "Raise your hands and don't move," Dad commanded sharply, pointing the shotgun at the man. The man froze, his hands slowly rising. Mom quickly grabbed the phone and started dialing the police, her fingers trembling. I couldn't take my eyes off the scene in front of me, still not believing what was happening. The man stood still, and Dad kept his eyes on him, the shotgun steady. Mom and I clung to each other, trying not to make any unnecessary noise or movements. When the police entered the house, they quickly disarmed and arrested the man. Dad finally lowered the shotgun and embraced us. We were all in shock, but immensely grateful that it ended without tragedy. The man was taken away, and the police began to inspect the house and gather evidence. We told them everything that happened, and they promised a thorough investigation. Our house was checked for safety, and my parents immediately decided to install additional security measures. That night changed us all. We became more cautious and attentive, but we also realized the importance of being there for each other in difficult times. The house was equipped with new locks and an alarm system, and we started to value each day together even more.